Remember that Satan Club that we talked about a few weeks ago? It began at Olathe Northwest, and it got a lot of local media attention. Well, it was approved, and I'm happy to welcome on and say hello to Max Pacheco. He is a senior at Spring Hill High School. He is heading to Johnson County Community College next year. He's got big plans, young man, bright future. And he ended up sneaking into Olathe Northwest Satan Club to figure out what the heck was going on. Max, good morning. Thanks for joining us on KCMO Talk Radio 95.7 FM. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for having me.
All right. Well, let's just start off with your plan here. You sneak into the Olathe Northwest Satan Club, and I assume they figure you're there to worship Satan with them.
Yeah, well, see, they didn't really. They thought it was kind of suspicious under the circumstances, which I came. I was about 30 minutes late. They were kind of unsure. They had me sign in, give like my phone number and email. I mean, I just lied. I mean, I made up my name. I said my name was John Johnson or something like that.
You gotta have a better fake name than that. I mean, no wonder they were. No wonder they were on to you, buddy. I mean, you put together this grand plan, and the best you could do is John Johnson.
Yeah, I probably could have came up with something better. And so I go in and I sit down. Me and my friend were there trying to see what's going on, and they're having slideshows, and they have a representative from the Satanic Temple there, who's basically talking about their goal and their mission in the club, and like kind of what they were wanting to do. And so what it was really was they said it was student led, but this lady ended up talking for like a majority of the time. And this lady, she was probably a middle-aged woman and had a necklace with a sigil of Lucifer charm as the centerpiece. Basically spoke of her belief in self-worship, rejection of divine intervention in her life. I mean, to her, Satan was like a superior liberator and God's an oppressive tyrant. And, you know, she made the point that Satan was the first to demand equal rights. So painting, you know, him essentially as a liberator instead of a, you know, epitome of evil.
Wow. Okay, so this middle-aged woman who was putting on this presentation at Olathe Northwest, where was she from? What was her background? Do you know any of that?
Yeah, so if I remember correctly, she is a representative of some sort of satanic temple or church in the KC metro area.
Gotcha. And she was invited out to speak at what was this, the kickoff meeting there for the Satan Club there at Olathe Northwest?
Yes, it was. It was the first meeting. And so kind of what I planned to do was go kind of see what was happening, and then slowly over time begin to like have conversations with people about, you know, Christianity or why they were there, and try to kind of get a better understanding so I could, you know, maybe slowly try to either bring people away or maybe think of new things. But to my surprise, the club was actually soon shut down within a few weeks. I don't know why or what really happened, either maybe due to lack of, you know, real attention or presence of people, because it was relatively small. And so my goal was to kind of over time slowly kind of infiltrate and talk to people and bring others to Christianity, but I never really had that chance to. And so, I mean, yeah.
So it does not exist anymore at Olathe Northwest?
To my knowledge, yeah.
How many kids were at the meeting with you the first time?
Ooh, roughly anywhere between 7 to 10, roughly.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah.
Now, did they know Go ahead, sorry.
Oh, no, it's okay. Because a lot of other people wanted to try to get in there, but they were being a bit louder than I was, and so they were like really kind of, you know, in place restrictions on who could go in, because they didn't think that a lot of people were being serious because they just wanted to make noise.
Ah, okay. So you're able to get in as someone on the other side, but it's because of how you handled yourself trying to get into the meeting.
Yes.
Okay. So 7 to 10 people are in this meeting, and this lady with some satanic organization from the Kansas City area is doing a slideshow presentation on this movement. And did the kids and the fellow students that you talked to, did they seem actually into this, or were they just there kind of like out of curiosity?
So I think they were just lost. I think a lot of the kids there were like mainly lost because they just wanted something to fit in, right? They're the ostensible outcasts of their school, kind of. I don't mean to be rude or condescending at all, but they were kind of the weirder kids of their grade. And so either whether it's rebelling against their parents or other Christian friends, I think it was maybe something to pass the time and something to finally be a part of. And so I talked to one girl, and she just, didn't really know exactly why she was there, and she was just kind of seemed very lost upon my short interaction with her.
Mm-hmm. So did you go to any follow-up meetings, or did the thing shut down? Because that was approved, I want to say it was at the end of 2023 that got approved. So when was this first meeting, and what were the meetings after that, if any?
Yeah, so the first meeting was on, I think, January 18th, I believe. And so what happened then after is I think there were a few more, and me and my friend, because they only had meetings twice a month. Mm-hmm. And so me and my friend planned to do was go back, and I can't remember. I think we had something else, and we didn't end up going, but we wanted to go to the next one. And upon trying to go to the next one, we figured out that apparently it didn't exist anymore. So this probably would have been February-ish.
You sure, Max Pacheco, that you're just not getting the emails because you're John Johnston to them? Are you sure about that?
I think I'm sure, yeah.
Okay. All right. I just want to make sure we got all the facts right at least. So that's a good point. All right. Max Pacheco, Spring Hill senior, who infiltrated the Olathe Northwest Satan Club. And I'm encouraged to hear that there were, it sounds like a large number of students who were outside of the Olathe Satan Club in protest, at least hopefully conducting themselves appropriately. But it is good to hear that there were people who were vocally against this instead of just kind of going along to get along.
Oh, yeah. There were a lot of kids that weren't for it. There were over 7,000 signatures to even stop the club from happening in the first place. So there was a lot of pushback that was met, but for some reason it, went through.
Wow. Well, Max, anything else that we haven't gotten to in your journey, your brief journey through the Olathe Northwest Satan Club?
Yeah, no, not really. But however, something that was encouraging upon walking through Olathe Northwest was people were having good news and Jesus clubs, which was something encouraging. And I think that's a great way, an efficient way to kind of fight back this kind of stuff being in schools, because if they can have their Satan club, then we can have our Christian Jesus clubs and Jesus rallies. And that's what I would encourage people to start doing is, push back through sharing the gospel or having these clubs or meetings or evangelizing. Anything you can really in these social circles, because you have to engage with it. You have to engage with the political prescriptions. You have to engage with their ideology. You have to engage with what they're doing. You can't just, clutch your pearls and be like, oh, they're having a Satan club. You actually have to do something about it. And I think that's where a lot of conservatives or younger Christians kind of fall short, is they need to start running toward the fight, not away from it.
Max Pacheco, very, very well said there, my friend. We appreciate you. And do you feel like that conservative movement is coming along with fellow Gen Zers and what you're seeing on the ground?
Absolutely, I do. I think that a lot of younger, specifically conservative men, are just kind of tired of being told that they're bad for having their ambitions and their political ideologies, and then they wonder why, or the left wonders why, or the media wonders why that we're so radical. It's like, well, A, we're not really, and B, we're just tired of having everything shoved down our throats to a point that we feel like we have to be on a counteroffensive against it. And so, it's everywhere. It's in the schools, it's in businesses, it's on movies and TV, it's absolutely everywhere. And so we're just sick and tired of it. But yeah, there is definitely an uprising in conservatism, especially in our youth.
Very cool. Max Pacheco, Spring Hill senior. Something tells me that we'll be hearing from you down the line in this area in some way, shape, or form. Keep in touch.
Yeah, thank you, Pete, for having me on. I really appreciate it.
You bet. Well done there. Max Pacheco, senior at Spring Hill High School, after he infiltrated the Olathe Northwest Satan Club.